6 leather tooling and carving tools for beginners. This is a fun exercise. I'll show you how to carve a couple flowers and the vine around the flowers. Here's a shot of the craft tool, leather stamping tools I'll be using, and the poly maul. I'll also use a craft tool swivel knife. This is a piece of pretty much scrap saddle skirting, lightweight. Up in here it's kind of flanky, not real good, but in this area right here it's pretty decent for what I want to do here today. Is I'm going to do some practice leather carving and stamping. This is dry right now, and I've got a sponge here that has water in it, and I'll just wet my leather on the top like that. Wet the bottom here. Let that set just a little bit. I'd like to tell you about these tools. They're all made by Craft Tool. And the two bevelers I use are a B802 and a B803. I use those most of the time. They're my favorite bevelers, actually. I have a pear shader right here. It's number 212. That's a good pear shader. And the background tool is a number 888. A88. I believe that's the right number on that. Got the Easy Comfort swivel knife here. It's also made by Craft Tool. It is comfortable, and I've got it adjusted at 3 3/8 of an inch from the cutting edge to the yoke. You may experiment a little bit with different lengths there to see what works best for you. Now it's about time to lay out a design. I'm going to use also the Craft Tool poly maul for striking my tools. And I'm just going to draw a light circle right here. And let's see, come over here. Put another circle right here. Lightly scribe my circle there. And just spend a few minutes just freehanding a design out here. Right here I'm going to draw a flower. Right here I'll draw another flower. I think I'll turn that around. Okay, now this is just kind of for fun and practice and hone my skills with my tooling. A lot of times when it's a pretty serious project, I'll spend time and pencil draw my design onto a piece of paper and then transfer that over to the wet encased leather. I'm going to lightly wet my design up there where I'm going to cut that in. This is the Craft Tool B802 beveler, and on my long straightaways on my stem, I use that particular tool. A lot of taps and move my tool slowly so it's not choppy. I'll close in a little bit so you can see a little better what I'm doing here. This poly maul, it's just the right size. It's kind of in between. You can bear down with it and stamp your design heavy, or you can lighten up and really kind of feather your beveling. This will take a little time to bevel around everything. I think you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing here. I'm slowly moving my tool and beveling around my stems. This really kind of gives your tooling some depth if you'll spend time doing this. And I'll go ahead and bevel everything. Then I'll come back in a minute and pear shade my stems and a little bit of my flower here, and then come back and put some decorative cut marks on my flowers and stems, and then do some backgrounding with the A888 background tool. It's kind of a matting tool. I've used these same tools for many years and very comfortable with them, and like the way they enhance the tooling. I switch back and forth between the B802 and the B803. Tight turns, the B802. The long straightaways, the B803. Now I'm going to take the power shader and do some shading on my flowers out towards the tip of the petal there, and at the end of my stems, just lightly pear shade those. Now it's time to put some decorative cut marks on my flowers here. One cut down the middle. And some 3 or 4 swivel knife cuts on each side. On the center of the flower, I like to put a crosshatch. 4 to 5 cut marks one way, and then looks like 4 that way. On your stems, just practice till you come up with the design you like. That's one cut mark down the center and a little cut mark on each side of that, which is very simple, but it looks pretty good. This is the A88. To do this background work, it takes time, and I just wish you the best. It's good to practice every chance you get to hone your skills and keep your muscles in your hands built up. Thanks for taking your time to watch this, and I'll talk to you in the next video. You're more than welcome to look at and watch my other videos here on YouTube. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video tutorial titled 6 Leather Tooling and Carving Tools for Beginners. Hope you learned quite a bit, and you're more than welcome to give me a thumbs up and watch some of my other YouTube videos. Thank you.